when the market's down, you have to take care of these little guys and protect them and make sure that they're cared for.
Well, when we first started, I didn't think it was going to be a business at all, quite frankly. I actually thought we were just going to have the alpacas for enjoyment, and we did enjoy them. But what we found is that there was a great interest in the alpacas because there weren't many of them in North America when we started. Had this piece of property, and then we had some friends had some horses here. We had some goats. It's kind of a little bit of a menagerie. And Victoria was kind of looking for, what is the best alpaca or best animal to have, to own. And she talked to one of her friends. They said, "Well, you should talk to my mom. She raises llamas and alpacas."
Well, in 1991, which was when we started considering alpacas, we had already considered goats and llamas, and yet we didn't do it right away. So we kind of held off because they were kind of expensive and there weren't very many in the country. And so we tried goats because we have almost a 5-acre ranch and we wanted to use it in some way and keep all the grass down. I'm a business major, so I wanted to come up with a side business that we could both do. I think probably my first alpaca, her name was Chili Bean, and she came in from Chile, direct import from Chile, and all of her babies we named after a bean, like Kona bean, coffee bean, Java bean, and so we just look at them and know that they were Chili Bean's offspring.
Husbandry is probably the most important thing, making sure that the herd is healthy and productive. And so you're always looking at herd health and trying to make sure that you're creating the best possible environment for the alpacas to thrive. So at the base of it all, that's the most important thing, and that's where you derive a lot of your enjoyment because you're interacting with the alpacas, and I think that's an important element.
Probably the biggest struggle that we had starting our business of raising and breeding alpacas is we had 15 boys in a row. And so we were like 3 years, almost 4 years into our business. We hadn't had a single female baby yet. Sometimes alpacas are born and their fleece isn't fine, but except for the very first part of their life. And as they become mature, it gets coarse and coarse and coarse, which is a natural thing.
Then when you get into the fleece, there are many characteristics that we look at. The key one being fineness, because when you shear the alpacas, you want to make your garments, your finished goods, to feel soft against the skin. So that fineness is the most important element. And then also the uniformity of that fleece, because if some parts of the fleece are fine or some elements of the fleece are are not as fine, you're going to be able to feel that in the finished product. So we look at the uniformity. We actually get down to the micron level and look at the micron of each individual fiber that's in the fleece. Probably the most famous one that we had on the ranch here, we wrote a little article about it, was grafting one alpaca cria to another mom. We had an alpaca named Cooper, and his mother had a very traumatic birth. She kind of rejected him, and so he wasn't getting any milk. And so we had another mother who took an interest in this whole situation. That alpaca's name was Dusty, and she had a cria at her side.
The mother continued to have problems, and unfortunately we lost her. So we had to pick up the pieces and figure out how we were going to raise this baby without allowing the baby to imprint, which is what happens with these babies naturally. If they're touched too much by humans, they need to attach to an alpaca.
So what we did is we took the little cria coat that Dusty's cria was wearing, and we reversed it inside out and put it on Cooper. So then when Cooper would approach Dusty, she would smell her own cria, and that allowed Cooper to approach. And pretty soon, Cooper was nursing off of Dusty, and so Dusty actually nursed two crias, which is really unusual for the alpacas because they tend to be really focused on that cria.
And all of a sudden, the mother started to smell the orphan and think that it might be her baby. Pretty soon, eventually connected, and we had both babies on the same mother.
So we were successful in grafting Cooper onto Dusty for a successful weaning, and got him all the way through to weaning, and he became a beautiful alpaca.
A lot of people like alpacas, and it's a great livestock. You know, they're nice animals. They're not nasty. People just enjoy being around them.